In today's news, active COVID-19 cases in the BVI surges to 77 with one COVID-related death which is under investigation.
House of Assembly Speaker issues statement as positive COVID-19 case detected among one staff.
And two siblings charged with harboring prison escapee Jose Almestica.
Premier the Honorable Andrew Foy hosts Christmas Extravaganza to take a center stage.
At the Royal Virgin Islands, police force strengthens capacity in crime and crime scene investigations with 12 officers newly skilled. Well, we get to these and more stories when 284 News return.
You value traditions. You value music. You value education. Family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
Welcome everybody. It's Tuesday, December 14th, 2021. A terrific Tuesday to each and every one of you. We're coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kamal Haynes. Viewers, we start today's newscast on a concerning note. Well, the active positive COVID-19 cases in the British Virgin Islands have taken a significant leap, with a total of 70 new cases recorded over a 3-day period and one death, which brings the total known active cases in the territory to 77 as of December 13th. Well, this is according to the Minister for Health and Social Development, Carvin Malone, who made a disclosure during a virtual session of the House of Assembly earlier today, Tuesday, December 14th. Well, the minister was updating the members of the House of Assembly on the present COVID-19 situation in the BVI. Well, he said the bulk of the positive COVID-19 cases are presently on the mainland of Tortola. Take a listen.
Mr. Speaker, here at home, a total of 26 new positive COVID cases were reported on December 10th. Since that date, an additional 44 cases of COVID-19 cases have been recorded, with 7 new recoveries. Of the total 90,257 samples that were processed by the Dr. D. Orlando Smith laboratory, representing some 84,891 individuals. This was done since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. As of December 13th, 77 active cases of COVID were currently in the territory. One additional death has been reported, which now moves the reported COVID-19 related deaths to 39. The last death, while occurring in a person who was COVID positive, determinations continue as to the specific role that COVID may have played in this death. The current spread of cases is 3 on Anegada, 68 on Tortola, and 6 on Virgin Gorda. 27 cases are diagnosed on travel screening, and 33 local cases, and 15 contacts of cases. This represents, Mr. Speaker, a significant increase in cases over the last several days.
Well, Minister Malone said the government has clearly recognized the need to balance lives with livelihoods as the BVI continues to coexist with COVID-19 going into the festive season. Well, he therefore reiterated the importance of persons getting vaccinated, as it is the only proven means that helps to prevent persons from being severely ill when contracting the COVID-19 virus.
Mr. Speaker, we are all aware of the Yuletide and of the festive season, and that in an effort to stimulate the economy, that a number of COVID-related restrictions have been relaxed and a number of tourism-related activities continue in the territory. The government has clearly recognized the need to balance lives with livelihoods. As the territory and the world continues in its second year of COVID pandemic, it is imperative that we find a way to continue to live and function with COVID-19. In the initial stages of the pandemic, when little was known, the main tools were public health measures, including social distancing, hand hygiene, and mask wearing, coupled with a number of more aggressive measures, such as curfews, lockdowns, and business restrictions, so to curb the spread and impact of COVID-19. However, over the last 19 months, we have seen the development of vaccines for the prevention of COVID and the introduction of more effective medications to treat sick people. Vaccines have been a game changer in terms of reducing transmission in populations and reducing the incidence of severe disease, hospitalization, and death. The availability of more effective treatment protocols and therapies have also improved survival from the COVID's more severe medical impacts.
Well, viewers, that was the Minister for Health and Social Development, Honorable Carvin Malone. Well, Ron here received somewhat of a very concerning situation in the BVI where, despite it still being somewhat of an overall small number with 77 cases, we do know what transpired a few months ago where it started to gradually increase and then within no time it was at 1,600 cases. And obviously we don't want to be, as the minister usually say, be complacent and forget that obviously COVID is still around in the territory. We're coming up into the Christmas season where there will be a lot of festivities going on with a lot of different events going on, and we just want to encourage persons to continue to adhere to the COVID-19 measures, the social distancing, the mask wearing, because we have been there. We do know what can happen.
Absolutely.
If we continue to be somewhat
complacent,
negligent of the requirements.
One of the important things, Kamal, and I think it's important for our viewers to recognize as well, is as we continue to open up and host events, there is a bit of a grace period after every major event. We had a number of events taking place within the past few weeks, and the environmental health chief himself said that we do have to wait about 14 days before we can actually see what that looks like and what the effects of these events have caused. So we continue to employ our residents to continue to be safe and practice all the health and safety protocols. The British Virgin Islands Health Services Authority is informing the public that the Iris Penn Smith Clinic was closed on 12th December and will remain closed until the 31st of January 2022. Now, during this closure, viewers, all services in the eastern area will be referred to the Rosalind Penn Health Center in Long Look. Now, BVI HSA has closed the Iris Penn Smith Clinic for two reasons. One, to carry out deep cleaning and environmental assessment of the facility, and secondly, to cope with the staff shortage. The second reason is due to the fact that the BVI Health Services Authority is currently low on staff and is therefore having difficulties, they say, keeping both clinics open. By the opening date, the BVI Health Services Authority experts say to have, and they do hope to have, the staff situation sorted and the facility cleaned and ready to serve the general public. They do apologize, they say, for any inconvenience caused during this closure. On Friday, December 10th, 2021, there was an exposure by the House of Assembly staff to COVID-19, which is being handled by the Ministry of Health and Social Development. Now, in keeping, viewers, with the Ministry of Health's protocol on contact tracing, the officer advised that he was in direct contact with two honorable members and a House of Assembly staff. The three persons who are fully vaccinated will be in isolation until their COVID-19 test becomes available, and the House of Assembly office located at the Richard C. Stout building in Roetown will be closed to the public from today. That's Monday, up until Friday, December 17th, 2021. The office will resume business to the public from Monday, December 20th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And they are asking both staff and the public to observe all COVID-19 protocols. Of course, that involves wearing of your mask to cover your nose and mouth, sanitize your hands when entering and leaving the building, and of course, staying within 3 feet apart. Now, out of an abundance of caution, the House of Assembly say they will not meet at the Save the Seat Center, but will continue, which is today, their sessions, and tomorrow, the 14th and 15th, virtually to conduct the budget debate and the remaining business on the 13th sitting of the House of Assembly. Now, viewers, the public is invited to tune in via radio and television, along with your normal social media platforms, to listen to the budget debate. The Speaker, the Honorable Julian Willock, takes this opportunity, he says, to strongly encourage all to get vaccinated, as the science still proves that vaccination significantly reduces the risk of getting and spreading the virus and the chances of dying from COVID-19. That was a statement from the Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly, Julian Willock.
And around here again, we see the effects of COVID-19 once again, what it can have on the business and the operations. But it's also still good to see that the House of Assembly has their contingency plan in place to be able to, you know, in light of the unfortunate situation where contact tracing had to be undergone, you know, to basically have the backup plan to be able to host, you know, the continuation of the debate, which is very important for the territory virtually to continue the operations of the territories.
Kamal, I think that what you said is extremely important. Contingency plans. Things are going to happen. Outbreaks are going to occur. Persons are going to test positive as we continue to traverse these very difficult times. But having a contingency plan, not only in government agencies such as the House of Assembly, but in public schools and churches, each facility needs to have some level of preparation to ensure that if and when something happens, there's a complete procedure to secure the utmost of safety. Indeed.
Well, viewers, up next, two siblings charged with harboring prison escapee Jose Almestica and Premier Christmas Extravaganza to take center stage. We get to these and more stories when 284 News return.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a brand new season of The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and, bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons that translate to grounded, community-minded, well-rounded men. This season, I'm taking you on an entirely different journey, from chefs to dancers, philanthropists, communications specialists, and much more. I'm heading outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Bojangara, Jasper Lake, not forgetting Anigata. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing, and I'm so proud. Get ready to reason, reflect, and redirect. We are the movers and shakers of this generation, and we ain't afraid to show it. The Art of a Distinguished Gentleman, Season 3 by yours truly, Ron Grant, raising a generation of greatness. Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, two additional persons have been charged with harboring escaped prisoner Jose Almestica, who was recently recaptured by the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force after being on the run since 2017. Well, this was confirmed in the media release by the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force today, Tuesday, December 14th, which reviewed the individuals as 33-year-old Hannah's Estate resident Renee Smith and 41-year-old Fort Hill resident Shamal Smith, who were scheduled to reappear before the magistrates' courts today. Well, the Joe adds to the total number of persons charged with harboring Almestica. Jennifer Smith, who is alleged to be the girlfriend of Almestica, has already been charged for harboring Almestica and is presently remanded at Her Majesty's prisons in Balsam Gut. Well, the RVIPF also made it clear that despite the three arrested having the same surname, Jennifer is neither a sibling of Renee or Shamal. Well, the charge of harboring a prisoner carries a maximum sentence of 14 years in prison. Well, the 33-year-old Almestica was apprehended last Tuesday after escaping from Her Majesty's prison at Balsam Gut in 2017 during the passage of Hurricane Irma. Well, Well, he was awaiting trial since his 2016 arrest for illegal possession of a firearm, possession of ammunition, and illegal entry prior to his escape.
Continuing on the local scene, the public is invited to the premiere's Christmas Extravaganza with a cultural twist, the sequel, on Saturday, December 18th at the festival grounds from 3 p.m. According to the Premier and Minister for Finance, the extravaganza is a time for the entire family. The children's party starts at 3 p.m. with games, singing, and gift-giving, while the Singspiration and music with the adult groups starts at 5 p.m. We call it the sequel as it is a continuation of a story that despite COVID-19, despite devastating hurricanes, and despite challenges, we are able to come together and to push past obstacles to experience and create opportunities that allow us to see the good in every circumstance, the Premier said. Now, there will be cultural foods and drinks in order to keep everyone safe. The wearing of masks and social distancing are a must. He said there is no compromising there with the COVID-19 protocols. He also added the Premier's Christmas Extravaganza with a cultural twist, the sequel, will include performers and guests from Tortola, Virgin Gorda, Anegada, and Just Van Dyke. I know a number of persons are looking forward to this exciting event. Kamal, there has been a history of Premier's parties throughout the territory, which are more formal events, invitation only. Here we see the leader of government business doing something, as he would often say, unorthodox, quite different, one that includes the community. Kudos for the creative idea, and we look forward to celebrating with the Premier and his former legislators this Christmas. And
also we would have seen over the weekend, more specifically on Sunday, where the Premier would have taken somewhat of a, because I think what he said he wants to do this season is to touch almost every district, and he was in the,
this is not the first time though.
Yeah, he was in the 7th and he was in the 7th and 8th district over on Sunday, in the East End Long Luck community, basically parading and on the back of a truck, singing some gospel tunes as he usually does. Basically just trying to cheer up a lot of the individuals in the community during this festive time. Obviously the territory would have been through a lot. The world would have been through a lot, but more specifically the BVI. And kudos to him and this initiative, as a lot of persons are welcoming it. To hear some sort of music coming through the neighborhood, and some sort of joyous occasion. Absolutely. Basically. Well, viewers, up next, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force strengthens capacity in crime and crime scene investigations with 12 officers newly skilled. And we also see from a regional perspective where the USVI records 88th COVID-related death. Well, we get to these stories after a word from our sponsors.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man, to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, following a month-long crime investigation training course, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force has now expanded their expertise in crime and crime scene investigations, with 12 of their officers now skilled in the 2 specialized areas. Well, this was confirmed by the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, who said that the courses were completed earlier this month. Well, the force said, and I quote, "Well, 12 officers were introduced to modern theory and practices in the areas of case management, crime scene management, intelligence handling, exhibit handling, statement writing, investigative interviewing, and court procedures. In the final weeks of 2021, the trainers will mentor trained officers to see that the acquired skills are put to use, and as well as to provide guidance and support while the officers are on duty, end quote. But the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force also said that the course will continue into the new year for a second cohort of officers and for senior level and financial crime investigators, laying the groundwork for more efficient and successful investigations. Officers will also be trained to equip others so that these skill sets are passed on as a vital component to this retraining exercise. What the force said, the UK-based company Agencia Limited, which specializes in law enforcement training and consultancy, is delivering the training up until the end of March 2022. Well, Ron, this is some great news for the territory, especially considering the year of 2021 that the BVI would have basically encountered a spike in crimes, especially gun-related crimes and murders. Obviously, we would have seen what would have occurred over the weekend with the unfortunate death of another loved one, someone who was a father, someone who was a stalwart to the community, someone who contributed to the community. And what the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force here is doing is basically equipping their officers to be able to combat crime, to be able to get to the root of a lot of these investigations, which we tend to see going unsolved, you know, from time to time. And as of recently, you would have seen the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force somewhat clamping down on the investigations and basically apprehending a number of individuals, basically charging them and arresting them until they have their fair day in court.
Well, Kamal, one of the things that we often heard, and we heard it from the former police commissioner, that there are a lot of aspects towards legislation that truly prevents the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, while it might seem simple on the outside for them to crack down on crime and make arrests, simple stuff like the ability to get DNA, and persons, of course, when that information came out, automatically thought or interpreted that means you're going to pin someone down and swab them or take urine. DNA could be something as simple as a hair sample or a swab, but there are a lot of aspects to allowing the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force to effectively do their jobs. And I think from a legislative perspective, once we're able to clamp down on that and put the measures in place, I think they would have the necessary measures that would really enable them to solve crimes as quickly as we would like them out here in the community.
And what's also great about this particular initiative is the fact that it's somewhat of a capacity building initiative.
Oh, yes.
Here we see the UK-based company basically coming in and training this first cohort of 12, and then another batch will be trained until March. But what is critical about what was said according to the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force is that the initiative basically is also to allow those who will be trained and who will complete the program to basically train some of the other officers going forward, which basically means that the skill would remain here in the territory and will be able to basically expand, and that number could go from basically from 12 to 50 officers probably by next year.
Indeed. Viewers, we are panning across the region, just across the waters to St. Thomas, the USVI actually in St. Croix. The Department of Health said in a recent release, the VI Consortium has reported that after further investigation, cause of death and ensuring notification of next of kin, the Virgin Islands Department of Health is saddened to confirm the territory's 88 death related to COVID-19. Now, the deceased is a 57-year-old female on St. Croix. Speaking during the Bryan administration's weekly press briefing, Department of Health Commissioner Ruben Molly said no traces of the most recent virus cases of COVID-19 had been identified in the territory. However, the department continued to urge vigilance and adherence to protocols. Even without the detection of the new variant, it does not mean that the strain is not yet in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Officials have warned. Now, positive cases of the virus have been itching up in recent days, with total territory-wide infections as of Monday being 58.38 on St. Croix. That's 58 on Monday, on St. Croix, 19 on St. Thomas, and 1 on St. John. This is a 58 total that the Department of Health announced. Kamal, we have experienced our share of death related to COVID-19. Of course, our time frame was a bit shorter, a very short time frame in which we saw significant death.
Rapid
correct.
increase.
And when we see over in the USVI, they are now at their 80th case. I think at the end of the day, officials across the region continue to do what they think is best while reopening borders, while trying to revitalize economies. Unfortunately, it seems as though it is still inevitable, as though we try to traverse and we try to make persons aware. So we do want to wish, again, the territory of the U.S. Virgin Islands, just like over here, the very best. And
while the health authorities in the USVI did say that the Omicron version of the COVID-19 virus have not been detected as yet, we would have seen a case in Trinidad and Tobago today, where they would have, or I think it was between yesterday and today, where they would have announced that the Omicron variant of the virus is present in the Caribbean, which is obviously concerning because, you know, we continue to encourage persons, the governments continue to encourage persons to become vaccinated, and as these viruses continue to basically mutate and strengthen, what it does is that it somewhat leaps over some of the barriers that are provided from the vaccination in terms of helping to prevent somewhat of a illness in a lot of persons. And the Omicron version now is right here in the Caribbean region. You would have seen the United Kingdom Prime Minister basically stating that he's waging a war on the Omicron virus, and they're looking to basically inoculate and apply boosters to almost every citizen in the United Kingdom by the end of January, which is obviously is a tall feat.
Yes,
but we
quite a short time frame.
And we see the government basically just pushing the initiative here back in the BVI now, you know, where they would have acquired the Pfizer vaccines this week, and they would have acquired the necessary refrigeration needed to store these vaccines, and they're basically pushing to apply boosters for those persons who are already, we have 15,000 plus persons here in the territory who are fully vaccinated, and they're pushing the whole ideology of, you know, ensuring that persons receive this booster for this very reason, new variants, and we have the Omicron here in the territory, and we are trying as best as possible to keep the death rate here in the BVI to a minimum. We have 39, with the minister reporting 1 additional death as of recent. But in comparison to some of the other Caribbean islands, you know, that is still somewhat of a good statistic. You know, no death is good, but in terms of when you compare it to the number of cases in other Caribbean islands, you know, Barbados have 250 plus COVID-19 deaths to date. And we have the USVI 88, you know, and there are other Caribbean countries where have 1,000 plus deaths to date. So, you know, it's a reality that COVID is still real. COVID continues to impact a number of societies in the Caribbean, and it basically is about just trying to protect yourself, trying to protect your loved ones, and trying to protect an economy, you know, from the continuous effects of COVID-19.
You're absolutely right, Kamal, and I think in the final analysis, like you mentioned, it's not over. COVID is not over, so we have to continue to be creative and try our best to secure ourselves and our families.
Indeed. Well, viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We will see you tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. We're at 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news, right here out of Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. Thank you guys so much.